Hello and welcome to your imaginary friend, Next Generation's First Generation. I am your host, Sascha Shouties, and we also have Mr.
It's me,
Patrick
Patrick
Delmore.
Delmore.
Yay! We are going to be your guides through this very unusual episode that, for some reason, I kind of get a red rum feeling when I read the synopsis of this. It's been probably about 10 or 15 years since I've seen this episode. I have not pre-watched this. So
oh boy.
But I do remember it being kind of on the creepy side of spooky little girl is a ghost and can do things that the crew does not understand. So with your interests in mind, we have this queued up on Netflix. Season 5, episode 22. You feel free to watch along. I'll give you a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and play. There's the shippy ship.
And this time we get to see the counselor is going to be with the child of an ensign on the ship, who is, I wish they'd gotten into more of what his status with his wife was, or the mother of this kid and how they ended up together. Because it's like, I don't believe for a second in this episode that these two actors are father and daughter.
He looks totally dismissed there, sitting in the back room.
They don't have, they have no chemistry, whatever. This girl, by the way, she's a sweet little kid. She's pretty good at enunciating. She's probably done school plays. Not a camera-ready actress at all. I'm sorry, little girl. Like, you are awful in this episode that you basically have to carry.
They liked her enough, though, to bring her in Deep Space Nine as Taya, playing a holographic character in a holographic village in a very real-world planet.
Oh, that's right. I thought you were going to say she was the Ala Moraine girl.
Not quite.
I know exactly who she is. She's the girl that Odo changes into the little wheel to impress. Yeah.
And the only person that Odo changes form to impress.
Yeah.
By the way, which is big for him. Now, this guy right here, I know him from somewhere and I can't place it. He's got that generic hired thug look that Star Trek has with their security officers.
He's not a security officer. He's an engineer.
Oh, he's an engineer. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Goon. Hired goon.
So this conversation we walked into, what are they establishing here?
She's having trouble fitting in, so she's created an imaginary friend named Isabella. And Troy doesn't get it, and her dad doesn't get it. And this is a Guinan episode, so Guinan is going to square everything away.
Why is it a problem that Isabella has an imaginary friend?
Isabella is the name of the imaginary friend. Just because her dad is not great at being a dad right now, which happens. That's realistic, but I don't believe in their relationship at all.
And
Clara, here comes the blankety blank.
It's almost like that impregnation energy orb that we saw in season 2 for Troy, but they just changed the filter on the light. Here we go, our guys walking down the hallways, talking about neutron stars, high resolution scans, talking about how they're going to beat out James Webb Telescope. No, not really.
A great time for. This is good. This is a good scene, though. Nurse Ogawa talking about this date that she went on, and Crusher kind of trying to get her to up the ante. And poor Crusher, it's like she wishes she was Nurse Ogawa.
Well, It's really cute. We follow Nurse Sagawa's career in this show.
Yep.
But and her personal life too. I think she gets married, she's pregnant, but we
Yep.
all get all this information through secondhand. It's not really direct.
Um, I remember my mom was so excited when this character was finally pregnant, and they did nothing with it.
Yep.
Well, they did. Well, no, they did do something with it, but not anything of great import.
Her name's Patty, by the way.
Yeah, she was a great extra character that I feel like they could have made something of her more than they did.
So why isn't Keiko here running the freaking arboretum?
They mentioned her by name, but
okay.
Yeah, they mentioned her a couple of times that she's there helping Keiko out.
Now, this is not the first time we see the arboretum. I think maybe the second time. This is also the same set where Deanna realizes she has a dead sister, I think.
Yes, which is a kind of similar episode to this one. That one has Kirsten Dunst in it. And boy, I wish we had Kirsten Dunst this time, because she could act. Interview with the Vampire. This kid can deliver lines, is what she can do.
Yes. Well, this show gave a lot of people chances to pursue their careers.
And I like that she also is almost wearing like normal clothes that, a second or third grader would have on in 1992.
And then you've got Clara, who looks like a doll.
Who doesn't even look like a doll. She looks like, I'm an evil kid. and it's sad that, or no, Isabella is the one that looks, Isabella is the evil one. The evil imaginary friend. Clara's the sweetie pie. And if she had like a bad bone in her body or was like sort of mischievous, it would be a little bit more interesting. But no, she's just there to be sweet.
Oh,
sweet as pie. Janeway would have liked her.
Oh, well,
Janeway would have absolutely loved her.
Isabella?
No, the Clara.
Oh, yeah. Well, she kind of has almost a Naomi Wildman personality to her, just very direct. Here's what's happening. Naomi is way more relationship oriented than Clara is. Clara is very much, hey, I'm doing this thing. It's funny that you bring up Janeway, because Isabella gives me vibes of the female caretaker when we finally see that woman or person take the shape of a creepy young murderous child. So yep. So
I only remember the caretaker as the old lady.
I was reading through the credits. I was reading through the credits here. Uncredited co-stars, 2 different children, both named Bjork as child. One's a male, one's a female. So this episode, when did this come out? May? Something like that. May 4th, 1992. So this is the first conversation they get to have with an imaginary friend. So Patrick, did you ever have an imaginary friend?
Probably, but I knew they were, I knew they were imaginary. I think I had one to have one.
I don't know if I had imaginary friends, but I do have a very vivid vivid memory. Maybe when I was about 3, I was on a tricycle and I was pulling a train behind me on my bike, on my trike. And I pulled up to my mom's window, her bedroom window. I was on the outside. She was in the inside. The window was open. And I go, hey, Mom, look at my cool train behind me. And I remember looking back and seeing the train. That's how vivid my imagination was. Like I can still remember exactly what it looks like. And so when I saw this episode come up, I could believe that people could see their imaginary friends because I had that memory as well. But now as an adult, it just goes into saying how good the brain is at creating images that you want to see. So here we go. We are in engineering. We're pushing buttons. We're investigating. Mr.
Trying to come
Suter.
up with a good name for the nebula. All three of them are wanting to do it. And I like that he wants to pretend that he's like on equal footing with the two lieutenant commanders, this ensign, which plays well into like lower decks. Like our ensigns on lower decks would totally do this, where it's like, let's name the nebula after me. Like I could see Boimler doing that.
So why does Clara go to engineering? Because Isabella wants to see.
Yeah.
I remember this episode now. Because the energy being inhabits the body of a little girl rather than an adult, they see the ship as a very, through a child's point of view, where they just get shunned and ignored.
They're mean.
You're mean. You're not letting me do what I want to do. There she is. Why do you keep disappearing like that? Grown-ups don't believe I'm real.
Would you like to play a game?
Oh, wow. I would be really scared by that if it actually happened.
Yeah, and she should be too.
Which tells me that she has no friends and she does not have a good enough relationship with her father to let her know, hey, this weird thing is happening.
Well, Troy doesn't even, well, she does. Like, Keiko gave her a little job, but I don't know why they want her to hang out with adults at the beginning of this. And then Troy's finally like, oh, she could go to the school and meet kids. And she meets Alexander, who's super accommodating toward her, like shows an insane amount of restraint later on.
Mm-hmm. How cool would it be if Isabella, the imaginary little girl, hooked up with that imaginary mom from 3 seasons ago? You remember when the ensign was blown up by some leftover mine from a war, and the ghosts of the war decided to emulate her mom and try to take the young man away from them?
Or Riker's fake son that's allegedly somewhere still on the ship.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, we could have a total reunion of the forgotten children of the Enterprise. Alexander is class president. I could see a lower decks making fun of this, where just this random child appears and Boimler goes, oh yeah, I guess we do have kids on the ship. What's your name? And you go, oh, I'm so-and-so. And this is my imaginary friend. And then Isabella, or a like character, just appears, and I can hear him freaking out like, yeah. So
it makes the little girl smile. Do you like Laura Ingalls Wilder? I wish I lived on the prairie. My dad won't let me go on the holodeck. He says it'll give me oceans.
Mercy. Shay Astor is the name of Isabella, the actress. And she was born, she's your age, dude.
Yeah.
September 29th, 1981. You're 81, right?
I'm 82.
Oh, 82. Oh, geez. That's rough. I still don't see myself as that age kid. Watching it then, being their age, I saw them as younger than me. How weird is that?
I did too. Here's Worf. And our Clara here is, I think she might have been a fan of this show, because it's like she's in the scene with Michael Dorn and she's playing both against like I am so excited that I am in a scene with Worf right now.
Mm-hmm,
And I'm
mm-hmm.
scared to death of the Klingon.
Oh, that's kind of funny. The one time Worf needed to be on his game. Hello, strange child I've never seen on this ship.
He is that because he's the only one that sees this kid until Troy does. So Picard issues a red alert, and Worf's like, "Okay, I know what I'm looking for."
Punching buttons, doing research, trying to figure out things, and oh, here's a boss to employee conversation.
Talking about like, "Hey, I read your personnel file. Like, you're the son of Starfleet officers. Like, how did that work for you as a kid?" And basically, Geordi's like, "You know what, man? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. What can I tell you? It's not a particularly fleshed out backstory right now. I know about as much about me as you do."
All right, so I found what I was looking for. Shay Astor was an on-again, off-again regular character on Third Rock from the Sun.
Yes, she played Tommy's girlfriend.
August Leifer or Lafleur or something like that.
Yep.
Was an Ernest Scared Stupid. She actually did that a year before this episode in 1991.
Yeah.
She's in Boy Meets World.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's some good goofing around. Guinan's talking about cloud shapes with Data and doesn't think he can see him, and then he's like, "It's not what you're saying. It's a bunny rabbit."
Now, here's something really funny about that is that people look for identifiable shapes to bring meaning to whatever is going on. But that also leads to seeing things in clouds, seeing pyramids on Mars, seeing face on Mars, seeing rocks and photos from outer space that look like bunnies and rabbits and whatnot. And it's using those same skills as when you see a cup, you see a cup. Or what color is that dress? You remember that fad from about 5 or 10 years ago? Is like, is it a blue dress or is it a gold dress? So you think Data would have the heuristics to start assigning shapes to things that he sees in his environment. So I would argue to say that Data can see shapes in clouds just by how good he is at identifying and interacting with things in his environment. Ooh.
Find out that 10 forward is technically off limits to kids without an adult accompanying them, although she's able to get in and Guinan makes her a fun drink. Guinan would be somebody that, like, if the kids knew about her, they'd all want to be over there. Like, Guinan will make you like super fun drinks, tell you funny stories, and then, you know, conversely, they'd be like, "I have to see Counselor Troy." And I can tell she does not like me.
No.
And Troy's trying with this little girl. Don't get me wrong, she really is, but she also doesn't like her.
No.
And you can tell because she likes Alexander. She likes the Roshenko family.
Yeah.
But I love this. Like, Guinan tells her the story of she had an imaginary friend that was very Totoro-ish. Wasn't a he. It Tarkalian razor beast.
Ooh.
Dark brown fur, gold eyes, huge spiny wings. It would fly past so fast nobody could see it but me.
Oh, I bet you there's some fan art on that one.
Look at her face. She goes, "Sounds scary." And she's like, "I'm doing a scene with Whoopi Goldberg." I curl up on its furry belly and the softest purr you ever heard.
No.
Totoro, 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 Totoro. Like, well, thanks, Guinan. It's nice you had a razor beast to play with, because I tell you what, Isabella scares the ever loving crap out of this little.
Do we ever see Guinan and Troy shake things out?
Oh yeah, in the episode where Troy loses her empathic ability.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's one of those in my mind's eye. I just don't see those two really getting along.
No, because Guinan is a million times better at Troy's job than Troy is.
That's kind of a burn. Oh, I didn't realize they just walked around the backside of 10 Forward. We got to see the second entrance right there. That's cool. Continuity on set. Well done. That jumpsuit just looks so uncomfortable.
No kidding.
Troy's not Clara's. Like you said, Clara's just looks normal.
Other than having the high collar, it looks like something that a kid would just wear in 1990.
So this seems condescending, and it also seemed a little condescending to me when I was watching it as a kid, where Troy is trying to interact with Isabella, but I don't see any serious attempt on Troy's part. She just looks like she's going through the motions kind of in a dismissive way.
Yeah. Kids can tell when grown-ups are not into it. And actually her look there was actually appropriate for that scene, but nobody likes no fan of the show at this point, unless they were reading the version of her that's in the novels, was that into Troy.
Mr. Suitor,
let's say.
Yeah. Mr. Suitor, your kid is crazy. My recommendation is to transfer them off the ship immediately.
So I'm going to take her to a ceramics class with other kids. Other kids, you say? How did we never think of that before?
I would love to see a teaser into Isabella's existence where she's holding something like that teddy bear, and an adult walks in and all they see is the teddy bear dropping to the floor as she disappears, for example. Do. Play with this block.
Stacking things is fun.
Man, I tell you, kids had boring toys on this ship. That sculpture in the background's looking kind of crazy, though.
Yes.
Let's go back to engineering.
Anatomically correct pink male statue.
What? I did not see that. Look at that manipulation. You don't care about me. I thought we'd have fun together. And she is clearly manipulating her.
Yes, but also she's manipulating her like a little kid wouldn't be manipulating another little kid.
True. Maybe that's why it's so easy.
Oh, great. Troy's here. Hi, lady. Gee, you were right up on the floor, huh?
I'm still crazy. What's new with you?
Isabella come too? Isabella can hang. Let's go. And by hang, I mean it in the British way where she can be hung.
Ooh. Man, this episode is a groaner for sure.
Yep.
I do not like it. Look at that deadpan stare. They turned red. That's great.
Yeah. It would have been better if like her whole face had turned like creepy. I think I've told on this my story about seeing the preview for Child's Play 2 and having never seen Chucky before and just panning up to that contorted face. It was like, no, thank you. Poor Brent Spiner in this scene looks like, okay, take 46.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we do see Alexander in this episode.
Yeah.
I forget. I don't know why I thought he wasn't in here. Oh well.
He's making a cup for his dad.
Yeah.
Spikes on it.
So your dad's dismissive of you too, huh, Clara? Yeah.
Like, we should start a club. Let's mess up stuff in engineering club.
Those two would actually be a pretty good match.
They would.
Because Clara's got just that let's go in a straight line ambition, and Alexander's always frustrated about stuff. And so they could play off of each other's energies very well. All right. So Technobabble.
It seems like the ship hit a bump, but they can't figure out what the bump was.
It's a neon light.
Yep.
And here we just reinvented the lava lamp.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's, Commander, there's no problem that tubes and neon won't solve. It is 1992 after all.
Oh, that's a burn.
No. Hypothetically, say I cut open my glow stick and smoked it.
Jeff Allen is the name of Mr. Suitor. Oh, hey, we just saw a little Vulcan boy in there. Did you see him?
Aw.
I wonder what he's working on. Oh, here is my other problem child. If I have both of you working together, I can bill both your parents for the same hour of treatment. That is a cool cup that he's making for his dad, though. It's got these spikes on the cup.
Wouldn't be able to drink out of it without stabbing himself. But he's really good with her. He's like, no, you got to do it like this. It looks like this episode was filmed quite a while after the last Brian Bonsall episode, because he looks a little bit more filled out than he did in that one. In Quality of Life.
He does. Yeah, that's exactly what you do in clay sculpture. You go for it.
Yep.
So I used to be a ceramicist, and two things really bugged me about that scene is like, the walls of your thing are too thick. It's going to explode in the kiln.
Yep.
And then also he was just moving the spikes around. I'm like, no, you got to score those two sides together and then put it together with slip. But
I love the idea.
They're 8.
That they'll have a kiln on the ship where they've already talked about that there cannot be open flames because they'll just be smothered.
So they have just discovered they are flying through a gigantic lava lamp of filaments.
Filaments. Hate when it's filaments. I'd rather deal with the Borg.
Okay, Troy's by herself. What's going to happen? Is the computer going to malfunction? Is she going to see somebody? That's a nice cup.
Isabella's going to come in here and knock the chocolate over.
You're a meanie.
Like, show me my appointments. Like, oh God, a bullion.
Oh.
It's like, once I'm done with this client, I'm going to have it. I don't treat bullion sign on my door.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
So I thought the ship cleaned itself, and there's a very non-absorbent silk rag.
I know.
Now, how cool would it be if she goes back and the cup was back upright full of hot cocoa?
I think it was, I think she did set it up right again.
Oh, okay.
And that's why she's reacting to it weird, because it was on its side again. And I think either he's older than he was the last time he filmed the scene, or they have given him a new wig.
I don't know. Mr. Brian, this is the gentleman who I think passed away here. No?
Only the very first time we see Alexander is the one that passed away.
Brian Eric Bonsall. There's a great picture of him and his neck tattoos in here, though.
Yep.
Holy cow. Yeah, Hollywood can mess kids up. There's
Um,
Yeah, he was arrested in 2009 for assaulting his friend with a bar stool.
uh,
That sucks.
yeah, he and Screech would be a good company. And now Isabella's giving it away because it's like he would have hashed it out with her over thinking that she smashed stuff, but it's like, yeah, she didn't throw that at you.
So I was a little confused there. I was busy reading about Mr. Tattoo that I didn't see the reason why the clay got thrown at Alexander. Was there an explanation to that?
Um, it was just Isabella being mad that Clara wasn't hanging with her. Okay, and I'll give her this. She's doing a very good job of making it look like she's crying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hope somebody didn't like off camera sucker punch her.
Yeah.
They put
But
even
she,
tear stains on her smock. That's good.
but again, she's too sweet. You want to have a character that has like some emotional depth to her. I mean, even Alexander, sometimes he was nice and sometimes he was disobedient to his father. Had felt like a character. She's like adorable little girl. It's her character, whose dad for some reason doesn't like that.
Not at all.
Oh, I was gonna say, wouldn't it have been fun if they'd been able to get Christina Ricci to play Isabella?
Mm. Hmm.
Because Adam's Family had come out at this point.
It would have been great. I think she would have been too recognizable though. Um,
I think she had Adam's Family and she had Mermaids, and that was it.
yeah. For the record, Mr. Suitor was also Gedrin in the Voyager episode Dragon's Teeth. That's the wayward scientist. And then also a guy named Ralph on Star Trek Borg.
Huh. Ralph? Who's Ralph?
He wrecked it.
Yeah. Something wrong with your cake, lady?
That's something that I have not played. It's an interactive movie, Star Trek Borg. It's one of those. I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. I don't think I've ever seen Star Trek Borg before. I'm getting way off topic now. I do have Star Trek Seen It that I've got to watch.
Ooh, that'd be fun to play that sometime.
You, me, and Matt need to get together and work on that one. So here we go. It's an analysis back to Guinan. I can't help think that something is being taken away from her, something precious, a part of her childhood she'll never have again. I think that's just people growing up and adulting, really. You had imaginary friend. This is actually a fairly cordial conversation between these two.
Oh, yeah.
Faded away, faded away, faded away. The character of Guinan just so needs to be fleshed out. I'm sorry. The more I see her, the more she always leaves me with more questions than answers.
That's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to talk about her on the season finale / season premiere. She's got a big. And I'm real curious what she's going to be like in Picard as she returns to that show.
Does she?
Yes.
See, there was another character that a very young woman who was a Starfleet expat that both hated Picard but also loyalized with him, if that makes any sense. In season 1, the black lady living in the desert in a trailer, smoking space marijuana.
Yeah.
I could see her and Guinan getting along really well.
Guinan gets along with everybody except Q.
Well, yeah, Q's the ultimate user. I'm here to play with you, whether you want it or not. The truth comes out. I can see her now. She's real. Can you see her? And this is where O'Brien says to Keiko, yeah, you remember when Rumpelstiltskin just showed up in Molly's room?
Yeah.
We actually had this back on the Enterprise.
All the time, in fact.
All the time.
Now, I wish they'd gone full scary with this one. I think that toy she has was like an actually like marketed toy. So this is a shot you almost never see. Like if there was somebody hiding under the bed, they would not do that shot.
Yeah.
Peeking under the bed shot. What I wish would happen was that she goes into the look how worn out Troy is. She's like, oh man, I don't need it. This kid's too old. She goes and looks for Isabella in the closet, and Isabella's not there. She should have been there to scare Troy. She scares Troy by appearing behind her when she's looking in the closet. But it would have been a great scare on a show that really didn't do scares very often. Like most of their scares came from that episode where everybody regressed into animals.
Oh, that was a great episode with Barkley just slams himself against the plexiglass window.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember, Troy falls down right here.
Yep.
Now, from what I remember, that woman falling down was not Marina Sirtis. It was a stunt double.
Had the big hair wig.
How did they get there? Did Clara call for help?
Well, yeah. I think it's one of those you got to know what to do when bad things happen.
Call an adult. No. The imaginary friend has been making threats.
Thready threats.
I do appreciate how long it takes for some of these things to filter its way up to the captain. Mm-hmm. Because I would imagine a couple of days have passed between when Clara first manifests herself to right now.
Yeah.
And this is Worf who goes, in a blue dress. Yes, sir, I have seen her.
We'll lead her down a rabbit hole.
Hey, I was right 2 days ago.
Yeah. We'll lead her down a rabbit hole and confront her with enigmas until she goes insane.
Actually, Isabella would make a really good Alice for Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just found out that they did in 2009, they did kind of a modern version of Alice in Wonderland that has Tim Curry and Matt Frewer and Kathy Bates. And it was the same guy that did the one on NBC where Whoopi Goldberg played the Cheshire Cat.
What?
Like he just didn't feel like he'd done it properly on NBC, so did a more adult one. Had like one of the doctors from Grey's Anatomy plays Alice in it. I just found out about this.
That would be very interesting to check out. I had no idea.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by the idea of it.
Okay, guys, we're flying through space, running into things. Last time we were calling for more shields and less shields seemed to work. But this time, it's like the Enterprise flew into a Spirit Halloween store.
Yeah. Like the second the captain plays the bridge, I'm going to have the computer start playing Lady in the Red.
Oh, here comes another pattern of life forms. Red alert! It's a life! Well, now they are drawing the parallel to the viewers that this life form is directly related to Isabella. Now, is this one of those energy life forms want corporeal bodies to escape their prison, or is this just one of those you flew into our house, please leave kind of situation?
Flew into our house, please leave. We don't know what your intentions here are. Oh, and also they have a kind of energy that um, they can eat.
Of
And it's like,
course.
no, we could have negotiated for you to get this energy a different way than by killing us, but because you manifested as a weird little kid, you kind of threw us off from doing that. So
Why did they choose Clara? That's what I don't get.
she
Maybe
was there.
well, maybe she was there, but the the energy being kind of did a survey and went through the ship and passively observed several people before going after Claire here. Maybe it's because Claire's mind was open enough to the idea.
Wanted a friend.
Mm-hmm. But you threatened her. How funny would it be if this was a seance setting and Picard and everyone were sitting around a table? Spirits from the other side, why have you invaded this little girl's imagination, pretending to be her friend?
Or if it would have been like, it's the ghost of the Maquis. Kill everyone at this table immediately.
Man, Claire's got some frizzy hair going on.
Yep.
Frizzy hair.
It doesn't look like anything other than that Deep Space Nine episode, though, that anything really became of her.
She became a singer, songwriter. She has her own website right now. I don't know what she's doing. Ooh. Hey, there she is. Isabella's on set. I came here to examine whether or not you are a threat. The purity of your energy source. The emissions from your graviton field generators are far richer than our normal supply of energy. I cannot act and can only talk monotone.
Didn't you want to spend 45 minutes ruminating on that? Me playing a little kid. I mean,
yeah.
You got Whoopi Goldberg in here. She's fun.
Whoopi could have sussed this out in 10 minutes. It would have been much more fun to flip the episode and have the energy life forms introduced in the first act, and then Isabella shows up, and then Whoopi discovers the play between the two.
Yeah, have her say to Troy, like, the difference between Isabella and my Razor Beast is my Razor Beast is my Razor Beast. And Isabella is a creature with, bad intentions.
So again, we're in a situation where had they not put up the shields, the ship wouldn't be threatened because they just want the shield energy. And now the wayward alien wants to protect Clara because their society is upside down, backwards, discriminatory, and does not know how to play or have fun.
Yeah. It's like Riker would be like, look, we can act defensively or offensively. There isn't a third option.
Well, the third option is to talk. Nobody likes to talk.
Yeah.
Because talking does not lead to direct answers. And that scares people.
Totally.
If you are judging us as a people, you need to inhabit the body of a cis white male. I mean, I hate to say it, but what if she was Alexander? What if she inhabited, let's say, Worf or Data? And then we get to watch how the crew's kind of weird around Data. And not only is Data learning how to navigate towards humans, but Isabella has to understand why people are treating Data differently.
Well, again, the idea was that she's got to be, also has to be something that can disappear and reappear and not have the person she's with be suspicious.
And Data's very, very suspicious if something unusual happens. He would also investigate that. So I guess talking made this person go away.
Yep.
Oh, they're leaving. Wow. This is a bad episode. They're clearing the strands. They made their way out of the Spirit Halloween store.
That they did.
Oh, if you want to drive the warp engines to full power and direct an energy beam into the nebula, they're going to give him a free lunch. Sorry, I just came to say goodbye. There were toy executives on the set when filming this, by the way. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if some of these were related to some kind of indirect sponsorship.
Let me tell you something. I've looked into your future and it's not good. I could kill you right now. You would only remember having been a happy child. If you continue to exist, all will be misery.
Hey, she smiled and said goodbye. Yay. And Clara didn't sleep for 3 days.
Yeah, Clara never slept again.
Oh, that's the end of the episode.
I died of insomnia because Troy was bad at her job. Well, we did another one.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bored.
Yep.
That's, you know what? It's a 1 out of 5 energy beings, imaginary friends. 1 out of 5 imaginary friends only because I was so bored. I had to conjure my own imaginary friend to keep me talking through this episode. Man, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. They could have made this better by flipping the script and starting with the threat of the energy beings. And while they're holding off the energy beings, they kind of suss out what Isabella's all about. That would have been pretty cool. They did that in the More Shields episode where the kid tried to be like Data. You remember? Where yep. He was there was a phenomenon responding to the energy output of the ship and creating these waves of destruction or whatever. I don't know. It's so bad I'm talking about a different episode. So that's my rating.
I give it 2 stars because the Whoopi was in it.
Whoopi carried the episode. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, mercy. All right. Well, I think that just about wraps it up. What's our next episode coming up? It's
Borg, a good one.
Oh, that is a good one. Oh, Redemption. We're getting pretty close to the end of the series here. That's episode 23. And then we get into another good one, the next phase. Ooh. I'm looking forward to recording the next couple episodes, and I look forward to providing quality episodes to our listeners. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I'll just end it with have a wonderful day. Music provided by lofigirl.com. Artists include Tenno, Daydreaming, BVG in Mondberg, Insomnia, WYS, Snowman, Be Common Banks, Because. Episode cover art created by Matthew Kirschner. Podcast logo and main cover art provided by David Clawwitter. Audio engineering done by Sascha Schaudies